Thank you very much. My name is Anthony Karumba, of course, the Gen Z's national spokesperson at Bunge la Mwananchi here in Nairobi. Well, I'm a Kenyan, and of course I live here in the capital city of Kenya. Yeah.
Welcome to Afrika Tuungane. This is
Thank
Africa
you.
Month.
Yeah.
And we are specifically talking about Africa, trying to find solutions to intergenerational problems in Africa. So I have a few questions for you in terms of finding solutions for intra-African tourism, intra-African travel, and most importantly, African unity. Yeah?
Yeah.
So if today you're given a chance to choose one African country to travel as a tourist, which country are you going to?
I will choose Burkina Faso.
Burkina Faso. Why
Yeah.
Burkina Faso?
Burkina Faso because I'm impressed, number one, by the leadership of the nation, because all these things you've mentioned concerning tourism, concerning business, concerning even the social network and everything else, it cannot exist in a nation which has no good governance. And of course, we are seeing right now what is happening in Burkina Faso. They have a very nice president, the president who has the heart of the people and want to deliver and make Burkina Faso the best country in Africa. Yeah, that's why I chose that.
Great. Talk to us about that one African country that you don't know much about, but which you have a lot of interest in. So given a chance, it's a country you'd want to learn more about, explore, and maybe visit someday. Which is that country?
Well, it's funny because this one country, it's Uganda.
Uganda.
Yeah.
So what interests you most about Uganda that you'd want to explore more?
Well, I see Uganda, and right now in 21st century, I ask myself, because when I look at the documentary of this nation, like for instance, there's this very famous city in Uganda called Jinja.
Jinja, yes.
Jinja, when you read from the history in terms of industrialization and all that, there's a time it was leading, but it reached to a point where the industry is actually collapsed completely. And as a Pan-Africanist, I would like to visit the place and see and really get to understand what led to that. Again, when I look at the level of poverty that we see happening there, dictatorship, leadership, and all kind of this, I'm very much interested in matters governance, matters leadership in Africa. And that is why I'm very much interested, at least with Uganda.
Great.
And how much it's been left behind to this point that we haven't seen any flourishment.
Thank you. You've mentioned something very important, leadership and governance of a country. That brings us to my next question for you. So which is that one African country that we see as a model country in terms of its leadership, the governance, the laws, the politics, and their democracy? Which is that model country for you?
Well, at the moment in Africa, we haven't reached to a point where we can say we have at least this one nation that we can rank as the topmost. Because African countries, it seems even after the independence and after we chased away the colonialists, there came new black, our own colonialists who actually, it's one thing to chase away the colonialists, but the mindset of you, if the oppressor leaves and leaves you with the mind of the oppressed, you cannot see beyond the horizon.
Correct.
So I look and I really admire that. At least I'm looking forward. I have a lot of hopes with Burkina Faso, and I think if they continue with this, what we are seeing, a very visionary leadership, I am sure at some point we'll admire it as one of the best countries, matters governance, and even with the liberation of the economy. Right now, you see what they are doing. They're trying to bring back the resources of Africa. Let our own resources benefit our own people, not the West, not the people, like for instance, the France, who are benefiting from the gold from Burkina Faso and the rest.
Great.
So I think with that kind of a visionary mindset, I really admire and foresee a better country that is coming out in Burkina Faso.
Great.
Yeah.
Still on leadership and governance, I would want you as a young person to address the African Union, both the African Union Commission and the highest level, the highest decision-making level in Africa, the African Union Assembly of Heads of State and Government. So what specifically would you want to see these two institutions doing for Africa and Africans?
Well, two things. Number
Yes.
one, there is no development that can happen in a place without peace. So let us build peace, number one. Number two, let us be people who have the real heart of the people we lead. because the selfishness, the division, thriving in crisis. When you divide people, we know so many countries in Africa that today they are affected matters peace, and they have leaders. And these leaders, the problem with them is when they get into those power positions, they make discretions which are favorable to their own personal interests and properties. I want to tell the African leaders like this, the AU leadership, you have been given an opportunity to serve in that capacity that you have.
Correct.
But remember, your opportunity is ephemeral. You will not exist in that opportunity forever. Today it's you, tomorrow there comes another person. And I want to tell you, even if we give you the whole world, there is no any single time that a human need will reach to a completion like you feel now, I'm in friction, I need no much. But at least there is an impact you can bring to the people. You, like for instance, the children who are poor there, they cannot afford even a single meal. They cannot even afford education. You can impact these people and make sure they get basic education to the point that these people at some point, they will actually make the world proud, their families proud, their nations proud. I am looking forward to have leaders who are selfless, leaders who will commit themselves and understand that you've been given that privilege so that your people can benefit, so that the economy of your nations can flourish. That is the most important thing. Everything else is vanity, and vanity only brings back vanity.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Finally, one final question. Talk to us about what you like about your fellow Kenyans. Kitu ambacho unapenda kuhusu wa Kenya wenzako that you'd want other Africans to emulate.
This is amazing. I can tell you, Kenya is the best country in terms of our socialism and everything else. Kenyans are good-hearted, they are magnanimous, they are benevolent. And what makes Kenya great? It's our unity. We have, like for instance, the very young generation, they are very creative, they are very industrious. That Kenyans, ukicheza na wa Kenya, Kenyans, all of them ni masimba. And of course we know definitely in Africa we have this notion that East Africa has always had one Simba. Now you have known it that Kenya, everybody ni Simba. Therefore, and another thing about Kenya is that they are good people, they are accommodative. Actually, it's one of the nations which is, people live, like for instance, you saw what happened last year in the month of June. People went to the streets without minding the colors, the races, the tribes, and it's just a vibe. Love in Africa, love in Kenya is amazing, it's tip top. And everyone else, if you have not visited Kenya, welcome to Kenya, Nairobi. I, as the Bunge la Mwananchi Gen Z's national spokesperson, I welcome you all Africans to Nairobi, Kenya.